Today we're talking about how long things take. I was listening to a book by Ken Williams, the founder of Sierra Online, and he said that if you have a project that should take an hour, it'll probably take an hour. And if you have a project which should take 4 hours, it probably will take all day. And if you have a project that is supposed to be an all-day project, it'll probably take all week. And if you have a project which is supposed to take a few weeks, it probably won't finish at all. I thought that was a really good way to put it into understandable terms. When we think we're going to do something really big, really monumental, the truth is things always take longer than you expect. Like, for example, let's say that I wanted to take a little bit of time and make a 15-minute YouTube video. Well, the reality is it's probably going to take closer to an hour to actually make the video, upload the video with a thumbnail, listen to it to make sure that it actually sounded all right, and just kind of do the basic things necessary to get it online, right? 15 minutes winds up being an hour before you know it. That's just how it works. That's one reason why with this channel I've worked on kind of having an idea to keep it simple. You know, like I don't really edit the videos. I just turn the mic on and I talk and I hang out in Elder Scrolls Online. And I just talk about whatever. That's really what this channel has become. I kind of like it. It's just a way to think out loud and to kind of share some thoughts that I may have at any given time with an audience of other people. And then I look at other channels who have better quality content in terms of well-edited videos and a higher production value. And I noticed two basic things about that. First of all, those channels are usually not the ones that I actually enjoy watching. The channels I enjoy watching usually are just somebody who turns on their mic and talks about stuff. And something about who they are drags me in, holds my attention, and I like listening to them while I do other things. Like, that's it. Like, I'll tell you right now, I listen to more YouTubers who are just random people talking about interesting things than I ever watch. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos. I listen to a lot of YouTube videos. That's the truth. And then there's amazing production value in some videos out there. And those are usually the videos which I look at and think, well, that's cool. And I probably don't watch them either, right? So I kind of say that just to make the point that what actually matters is often simpler things, not necessarily that it's the best, most complicated production out there. More that you just did something that's authentic, that resonates with the crowd, right? In any case, the other reason why I make simple videos, though, is because I've realized that it's hard to make something like content creation part of your everyday routine. It's so easy to kind of fall off the wagon. You stop doing it. You just, you know, yeah, maybe it's cool to say, I'm going to take all afternoon on a Saturday and I'm going to make a really high quality production value video with a bunch of different clips, and I'm going to put them all together, and I'm going to edit the soundtrack, and I'm going to just make it really, really good. Well, that's fine. But even if you did that, are you going to have energy to do that every day, all the time, day in, day out? And maybe, depending on who you are, you could. But if you're the average person, at some point you burn out. At some point you're tired of taking so much time out of your day to do this. Maybe you have other things going on in life. You just don't have 8 hours out of a day to devote to content creation. So eventually you kind of burn out, you get tired of it, and then that really great idea that you had turns into something that never actually materialized at all. And I think that's one of the most dangerous things that does in content creators, to be honest. I think it's that you start off with this idea of all the stuff you're going to do, and then you set the goal so high that it's not attainable to do it on a daily basis, and then eventually you burn out, and then you don't do anything at all. And it's better to do something consistently that's not maybe perfect than to never leave the concept stage and always be waiting for that one day when you're going to actually get the project off the ground. I've also been working on writing a book, and I've wanted to publish a book for a long time, and that's actually one reason why I've made this channel as well, because I wanted to kind of have something that would tie in with the theme of what I was writing about, which is the parallels between gaming and real life, and real life lessons which maybe could be gleaned from gaming experiences. So talking about gaming, and then also exploring how maybe we could use gaming as an allegory for actual life lessons that you would learn and apply in your everyday life. And so this channel is kind of a little bit on the fringe of gaming topics, and also just a lot of life topics, but shared through the lens of hanging around in Elder Scrolls Online, gathering random materials, and just all in all, it's kind of a gaming channel because it's a little bit involving gaming, and it's a little bit from the perspective of someone who is a casual gamer, as I am, but not really purely a gaming channel, because there's plenty of people who are making amazing content about games, and I don't really have enough passion for any one particular game, much less all games, to actually be a gaming content creator. But I can be a gamer who makes content, and that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, the purpose of the video here, though, was not to talk so much about content creation, but also just to talk about how things take longer than we anticipate that they will. And so it's important to, I guess, celebrate small wins and divide things up into bite-sized chunks. I'm reminded of a quote from the movie The Martian, where Watney is stranded on Mars, and he has to figure out how to survive for a long time there, and he does. And then he comes home after that whole adventure was over, and he's talking to these students, recapping what happened to him, and they're doing a Q&A. And he says to them that what you have to do is you have to solve one problem at a time. You work one problem, and then you work another one after that. And if you solve enough problems, he said, then you can come home. And I think there's a lot of elegance in this, because sometimes we're faced with problems which are significant, with goals which are multifaceted and require us to stretch ourselves beyond where we feel competent or comfortable. And if we look at the entire project and say, well, how do we win? Sometimes there is no clear way to win. And what you have to do is you start by asking what you need, and then working one small problem at a time to get closer to being able to fulfill your end goal. You don't try to win the entire war as a whole. You try to win a small battle and then another and another. That's how you become successful, by taking the entire adventure and distilling it down to the minutia of a single quest. And if you do that, then it becomes not only more attainable, but also more fun, because every day can involve doing something that leads to a measurable success and progress. It doesn't mean that you arrive, but every day you can say, here are the things that I did to invest in my goals. Here are the things I did to try to work some sort of a problem that I was facing in my life. Depending on who you are, that could be anything. Maybe it's taking a work project that you've been assigned and dividing it up into small, attainable chunks so that you can get your head around it better. Maybe it's just cleaning up your house, getting the laundry done, making that one YouTube video, taking some time to have a few things on a daily checklist that you always come back to, so that you can say that even if you didn't do a lot today, you did something. But it's easy to feel like because we didn't do a lot, there's no reason to celebrate that we did a little. And that's one of the most troublesome things that gets in the way of success in investment and success in people turning their lives around and success in finding peace in life. And it's a barrier to getting to a place where you can say that you've achieved your life goals, because success is always achieved in small, bite-sized chunks, small steps toward victory. So if you always discount small steps, then you'll never actually have any major victories, because you'll always be so down on yourself for not doing enough that you'll never feel like there's any reason to celebrate anything that you have done or can do. I'm reminded of the biblical parable of the talents. And as the story goes, a man gave 3 of his employees different amounts of money. One he gave, I think, 1 talent being a unit of currency. He gave a talent to one person. He gave 3 to one. He gave 5 to one. The guy he gave the 5 went and invested the money and turned it into another 5. And the one he gave 3 went and invested it and turned it into another 3. But the one he gave only 1 talent to, that guy went and buried it out in the yard. And then when the master returned to see what was going on with his money, the 2 went and said, okay, well, we invested your money and we grew it. But that other guy who only had 1 talent, he said, well, no, I knew you have high expectations and I didn't have much to work with and I couldn't please you, so I just didn't do anything with it at all. Here it is, what you gave me, back to you. And the master essentially said, well, you're fired, get out of here, because you could have at least put it in the bank and I would have got interest on it, right? So the lesson there is sometimes we feel like we don't have very much to work with. We don't have any amazing, huge ideas. We don't have anything that's monumental or something like that. And so we kind of throw away a day. We throw away the opportunity to do something that could be meaningful, because, if you want to write a book, well, what's the value of writing a couple pages today? That's not a novel, right? But if you write a couple pages every day, that can be something, right? So always start off doing small things that are measurable steps toward your success. And don't expect that you're going to reinvent the world overnight. You don't have to. Just do something every day, and understand that big plans are often the enemy of success, because if you always make big plans that are far beyond your ability to fulfill them, then you'll always be defeated. But if you always make small plans, which are things that you can do, then you might be surprised how quickly they will add up and turn into something that is more of a success than you ever imagined it would be. In any case, wherever you find yourself, always continue to move forward in some fashion, even if it is in a small way. And till next time, good luck on your adventure. Thanks for watching.